You had a hard time getting into directing. In other words, you were a guy. You were one of the cast of Happy Days. Everyone thought you couldn't direct.
Well, especially people coming from sitcoms and directing movies. I mean, that was just a ridiculous leap as far as anybody was concerned.
Were you so desperate that, now I read this, that you wanted to get into porno in order to finance your first film?
At one time, actually, I thought...
I want to see it. I bet you'd be a really good porno.
Well, I talked to Cheryl about it.
With good production values.
And Cheryl said, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Right.
But I said, actually, it was right at the time that Behind the Green Door and Deep Throat were making like millions of dollars.
Right.
And it was the first wave of the independent filmmaking movement.
Right.
And I read something that Francis Coppola had like been a sound guy on pornos or something before he did Godfather and all these movies.
Right.
And I thought, and no one was taking me seriously about directing. I could just see it. They were just so patronizing. It was,
right. Yeah, well, they're like, hey, it's Opie.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And I actually thought one day, I said, maybe I can cash in on this thing. One time, one shot, Opie gets laid.
Right.
You make it, you own it. What does it cost? $55.
And you would have starred in the film.
Starred in the movie.
Right.
Wow.
You were desperate to get laid.
Well, you right back to that.
Right, yeah.
I wanted the money to be independent as a filmmaker.
Right. Okay, so
I also thought about going door to door.
Yeah, you said you were
door to door for a year.
And get $1 from everybody.
Get $1 from everybody.
You wanted to go on during Happy Days, buy a commercial and say, would everyone send me $1?
Send me $1.
Wow, you were desperate.
I've entertained you over the years. Please now send me $1. And I found out that's illegal.
But it is.
You can't do that.
Robin scratched that idea. I was going to do that. You're kidding me.
A couple of times already.
Yeah. I was desperate. I was desperate to become a director.
So you did it by your first movie was like a $600,000 budget, and it made a couple of mil.
It made $6 million.
What was the name of that?
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
I gotta go pick that up.
Yeah.
Oh, please. You don't want to miss Grand Theft Auto.
Is it bad?
It's pretty goofy.
It is. But it made money.
It made
Thank
money.
God.
It actually got pretty good reviews at the time.
Because if it didn't make money, then you would have. That might have been it.
That would have been the end of you.
Well, if I'd have screwed that up, it would have been bad.
Right. So then once you get that, you get to make your next picture. What was your next picture after that?
Well, then everybody said, okay, he can direct movies. So then all the studios started offering me the same movie. I got 7 scripts that were. Now you got to realize this is 1978.
Right.
7 really badly written scripts about a gonzo group of kooks flying pot in from TJ.
Right.
And just a wacky plane flight.
And you couldn't relate to that.
I just felt like those weren't going to be very good.
Right. So what was the next film?
I started doing TV movies.
Right. Oh.
That I owned and produced as well as directed. And so I did 3 of those.
Wow.
Which is actually the first time I met Brian Grazer.
Oh, I see. And then you guys teamed up.
And we teamed up. Then Brian Grazer came to me with this idea, Night Shift.
Right.
And it was
that was a cool movie.
2 guys running a prostitution ring out of the New York City morgue.
Kevin Costner was an extra on that, I read.
He was.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
On Night Shift.
I didn't even remember this. We needed somebody to come in, and Michael Keaton was like, he was ad-libbing like crazy, coming up with great stuff. And I said, we're going to do this scene, this party scene, naked women. It's in the morgue. I need somebody that he can talk to. There's supposed to be these frat boys running around in there.
Right.
And so I need some actors. So Jane Jenkins, the casting director, said, here's a guy. This guy really needs a job.
Right.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's got no money.
Right.
Would you hire this guy? And I said, I looked at it for 2 seconds, the 8x10. I said, yeah, okay, fine.
Really?
And he came in, and whoever it was did fine. I didn't think anything of it. And about whenever Untouchables came out, and then Dances with Wolves and all these things,
right.
somebody said, Kevin Costner was in Night Shift. I said, where?
Where? Yeah, I don't remember him.
I don't remember. And I actually bumped into him, and I said, Night Shift, right? He said, yeah, Night Shift. And from the smile, I couldn't tell whether I was a jerk.
Right. Yeah.
What you thinking? Dismissive, asshole about it all.
Right. Yeah.
And he said, I said, was I nice to you? He said, you were great. You were great. So I breathed a little sigh of relief.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So that movie made it big, and then after that, then it was no problem. Then you came out with like Splash and Cocoon and all that kind of stuff.
Splash was still a problem.
It was?
Splash was a huge problem.
Why is that a problem?
We had this script, same writers, Gans and Mandel.
Right.
And it was funny, but there was this other movie, this other mermaid movie, that Warren Beatty was going to do with Jessica Lange, and Herbert Ross was directing it, and Ray Stark. And this was all when everybody was like absolutely, hitting on all cylinders, dominating the business.
Right.
And they had a mermaid movie that they just announced. We might do a mermaid movie.
Oh, no.
And no studio would do our movie. Everybody was just turning it down left and right.
Oh, no kidding.
And finally we went to Disney. Brian calls me up.
Yeah.
and says, okay, we got one last meeting. It's at Disney. Now, the last movie Disney put out at that time was Gus the Field Goal Kicking Mule.
Right, yeah. Disney was not the Disney of today.
Before Michael Eisner and all that.
Yeah, they didn't make great movies.
And I said, oh, my God. You know, the first thing...
We're down to Disney.
We're down to Disney, and they're going to want to... They're going to, like... They're going to put, like, a big top on her, you know. She's going to be like a full-covered mermaid or something. It's really going to be ridiculous.
Talking fish.
Talking fish. They'll draw it in,
yeah.
Well, you could reteam with Barney Fife.
Right.
I thought that would be a good idea. That that's what they'd want to do. But Brian said we got to go in and sell it to him. So I got caught up in just the heat of selling. You know,
right.
Brian knows how to wind me up. So I got in there
because this is the hard part of the business. You want to just make movies.
Yeah.
But you got to go get someone to finance
exactly.
them. Right.
So they said, what about this other movie? And at a certain point, and I had been through the whole thing, and I said she's got to be topless, and she's got, and it'll still be PG-13. I won't let her.
Did you have Daryl Hannah in mind for that role?
Yeah.
She was the one you wanted.
I did, as a matter of fact. Beautiful.
And you weren't tempted by that.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
But I remember.
You know what? You are.
I'm a very happy. I'm happy.
You are like Mother Teresa.